Okay, I have to ask. When they said that they wanted this character to be American, and they came to you, what was your reaction?
Oh, my reaction was brilliant. I want to be different, versatile, certainly different from Gaius.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just American.
Yeah.
It's American from the 1940s, which is a different deal. And I've looked at, I mean, literally I had like 2 days to check out. They were like, look at Cary Grant. Like, Cary Grant's not really the kind of... I was looking at 40s films, and films made in the 40s. And everybody from the 40s, as far as I could work out, looked like a gangster. I mean, every single one, they're in the hats. It didn't matter what they were doing. They were the policemen, they were the ranch hand, they were the whatever. So, Frank, what are we going to do? Everybody was like this, and I was like, I really want to have a go at doing that. I want to be this guy.
Right.
And as such as well, a totally different sensibility. There was something about coming out of World War II. I'm not sure it's kind of, in fact it's not, it's like the groundwork I suppose I was doing, but I was thinking that any person who, working in a camp like Eureka, 1947, you've seen the absolute best of mankind and the worst.
Right.
You've seen human spirit at its most magnificent, and you've seen it at its most barbarous and brutal.
Right.
It does something to you.
Yeah.
You've got a slightly different take on things, and
Right.
I wanted to be straight as is the gate.
Right.
A man's man.
Right.
And I think that there's kind of, I've been reading and things like, well, that's not an American accent, that's not, I'm like, well, it's, on some level it is slightly artificial, but that's the kind of thing I think that, I was going for. It's like, it is a fantasy. It is television. It always reminds me, it's like people writing in shock that they'd seen somebody's bosoms in Battlestar.
Right, right.
And then Ron saying to me, yeah, shocking, isn't it? I mean, we've only killed billions of people.
Right, but oh no.
Nobody cares about that. So and then I read these things about, well, I don't believe this guy, I don't believe what he's doing. I'm like, yeah, but you believe that we jumped forward in time.
Right.
63 years.
Right.
That was very easy for you to...
That was nothing.
That was that's okay. No, that I buy. I'm like, okay, great. It's like,
I think for me personally, I wonder if it's missing Gaius a little bit.
Well, no, I didn't want to be Gaius.
No, I know,
I
but
think
the fans are, we're
so
so hard to please.
I think there's a real thing about that when I was just saying over there, when you've been associated with the character, not just in a movie, which like you see somebody for 2 hours, but for 5 years on television, and they're like, I wanted you to be like, I thought that you'd come out with, it's not you, it's this. It's like, no, because I'm inhabiting, or I'm being somebody else.
But I would think the world would be a better place if men still wore hats and sharp suits, and you know what I mean? Like, I love that era so much.
Do you know, it was a really, the costume, I loved wearing that.
Yeah.
And I was terribly excited, and yes, when you wear a shirt and the suspenders, a tie, and the vest, you call it, waistcoat, and the fedora, it really does do something to you, in the sense of, when I was practicing being the character, it helped considerably being in the costume. And if I was walking around like this, it really didn't
wouldn't be that guy.
And they wanted me to change at some point during the scene. They're like, hey, you're going to go into like this.
The trendy store.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't think we can do that.
That's helping you build your character.
Well, because it's, as we spoke several times, you can take the man out of the 1940s, but you can't take the 1940s out of the man.
Yeah.
And we knew, I think we all knew, that exponentially my job and my journey once I'd reached 2010 was going to be so much more difficult than when I was rooted in my own timeline.
Right.
You're going to be this anachronistic, anomalous kind of fish out of water, and searching for things to hold on to. So there was.
You had to
that was my comfort. I wish I'd been able to keep the hat as well a bit longer. But
if you had worn the hat around the convention center, you would have been mobbed, I'm sure. But I haven't seen last night's episode, unfortunately, because I've been stuck here. But I think you just bring this ambiguity to your roles, and I hope that's a compliment. But I just feel like there's an ambiguity to the guy, and I hope that's intentional.
I think that's really interesting. There was and there is, but that was also, like, to be fair, and we're trying to work out the thing while it's doing it. It's not like. It really wasn't. It'll be like this, and then you move from here to here to here.
Yeah.
It's like we create, and we'll see what we want to pick up. And I think that's essentially what last night. Essentially, we're dealing with a time machine. Me and Joe Morton, who is a wonderful, wonderful actor to work with. He's so good. It's worrying. He comes into the first rehearsal. word perfect, knowing everything where he's going to stand, and you're like,
What?
show me the sign.
Right, wait, what was that line?
What are we gonna do? And we realised, like, in the filming of it yesterday, that my character was really sad, and it came out on set that jumping through time was this great idea, but suddenly everybody he knew was dead, and he's got no history, and he's totally alone, and he's got nothing to hold on to.
Right.
And that's part of his existential crisis on some level.
And he thought this would be the greatest thing ever.
He thought it was the greatest gig, etc. And it's a bit like, no, you made your bed, now you'll lie in it. You can't get back, and you don't know anybody. You don't have a history. All of the things that you were so elevated for because you'd made all that.
You're nobody now.
Nobody now.
No connection.
No connection. You didn't do them because you
Right.
left in 1947. And I have to respect, I think, really, the writers with what a brilliant idea.
I have
it's
to
so
say,
bold. When I read it, I was like,
it's better than
you didn't think it was going to be
done.
nearly as good as this.
Yeah.
And there was a humanity element involved in it, which I really appreciated. So,
Right.
it's kind of, it's an interest. I think that some people could dismiss Eureka, like, at their peril. It's like, oh, it's inconsequential, it's not my kind of thing. Actually, give it a go, you know,
this is really good.
It'll draw you in.
I've liked other seasons, but I like this one much more because it does have that sense of consequence. And as I was saying to the producers, there's a moral dilemma for every character now of like, do we try to undo this? You know, because Sally's character, her son is, you know, in a different space.
By the way, he's an amazing actor.
Well, the transformation of that kid between the two modes.
I want to say, Trevor Jackson, I am a big fan.
Wow, excellent. Well, I just love that. And I think that was honestly what the show was missing, if you ask me. A sense of consequence and
you know,
possible bad consequence.
Yes.
Really.
Yeah. Like I say, I think that the ideas are very, very bold. And I think that that's a great testimony to sci-fi. Because they do say what if and whatever. And there's ways in which this show's great. They didn't need to do that. People will watch the show.
Yeah,
as
they
it
were
is, whatever.
fans.
You know, it's great. No, they've really upped the game, raised the game. And everybody involved, you should see on set, just beaming.
Yeah.
Because I've seen several of their episodes, obviously, before I was involved. And I've enjoyed them.
Yeah.
But like everybody, all season this season, it's like, I think this is possibly the best season
No,
that
it
we're
is.
doing.
I'm a critic. I know this for a fact.
Well, that's good to know.
Well, I have to